Yeah, that's the fair point to have here, right? Gambit, they've kind of gone.
In the game or on your team. Kind of do that already. A lot of physical damage.
So
it's a little bit scary for him to play, but he has the back of the Oracle.
A little bit of brawling back and forth here. Miracle trying to actually secure this kill on the Vampire with a second jump in. The Cog's too late to save him.
Miracle will get the first blood. Yeah, I think the Cogs actually kind of hurt him there.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to want on the lane anyway, right? So it's not like it's a miss level because you have got the Blood Right Cogs combo. The catch, of course, is you can't really use it on the Riki.
No. The Cogs are, of course, good on the lane. I think it sort of boxed himself in there. Not the best. Who does have a lot of armor and regen.
Yeah, it's not really a hero you want to be giving extra gold to, because I think kind of the recurring theme we see with Riki is it's not really a hero you can shut out easily, right? With all the armor and regen that he has.
Yeah, and yeah, might get a sort of also a very nice rotation there from Kuro. He goes mid to help secure the rune. He dodges the stun. He picks up the regen, although it doesn't grant him all that much regen. That's the bit by the Lina, and he might even go down here. The rotation still makes it so that no bottle for Lorenof. There's no refill right now for Lorenof. Helps Weeha a bit. Matchup, I think it should be a bit Lina favor, but right now Weeha is doing quite well with that extra.
But then eine is immediately like, not so fast. Okay, you may have killed me, but that means I am a good little bottle crow, as Lorenof will at least get a refill here. And it's about to be the 5-minute rune, so he should be pretty good for mana, but obviously, you know, his game's maybe a little bit simpler to play if he gets a good start, right? Like Alina, you are always going to be this fragile glass cannon against that Slardar you mentioned against the Riki. Going in. The Cogs though, oh, they're doing
really
some work.
Here.
They actually just saved Melis' life.
Yeah, and the thing about Bloodseeker, in spec. Look at this bottom lane, you see mind control already.
I mean, I expected a lead. I didn't expect him to maybe have that many denies over the Faceless Void, but I guess the Phoenix just makes it that much harder for you to ever trade.
Yeah, the Oracle was also there, not necessarily forced to rotate mid, but he did rotate mid, which buys the Slardar a bit of strength in the lane, and not that easy to order. You can prime your bash.
You see Oracles usually go for an early point Fate's Edict, right? So it's not like you can stop mind control from fighting back if you ever try and pressure him.
I owe you one.
The Impis rune. He's going to rotate. He has got the Exo, so likely they'll just try and force a kill into maybe just taking the tower here.
So much blood.
They don't seem to be aware of this inside of Gambit. There it is, XOL. Eine. He's just going to melt.
Dire's top tower.
Yeah, I think depending on how much damage they can actually do tower, it could be worth it or not. I like the fact that GH
Radiant structures are fortified.
damage to the tower.
Well, they have the catapult, right? So catapult plus Exo, in theory, they could just burst through the entire tower here.
But
Radiant's bottom tower is
mind
under
control
attack.
Possible. The tower, yeah, down, so rotation's definitely not.
Radiant's
Meanwhile,
bottom
Lorenof, he was able to
has
chip away at the
fallen.
tower a little bit in the mid, but not really an ideal trade for him.
Why it's a little bit of a curious.
Overwhelming combo. You have got decent damage early on, right? But I wonder what's going to happen in terms of scaling for this Void
Are scanning.
if he doesn't have the items later on, right? Like, will they actually have the burst damage in these Chronos if ksani doesn't get a good start to this game?
I definitely think ksani needs quite good start. Has to get a fairly early beekeep. Not to be surprised. That's almost the only way you can go, especially when you're up against very quick. The silence from D, even the phantoms and break, very hard to deal with. You can potentially get Manta, but it's also quite useless.
That's true. There's just too many things to get rid of for Manta to be viable, right? Like, you're already listing them there when you got the silence to deal with on the ground as well as the DP one, you got the Press of Haze. Maybe BKB the simpler way. Does feel like there's going to be a lot of pressure on Lorenof as well to have enough behind him, and with the Chrono there, they'll have the damage to bring down GH. They are going to try and take this tower, but Miracle is here. Exo has been activated, and Nigma are going in straight onto Lorenof. Will force him away. Melee's running for the high heels, but they're hot pursuit here. Bloodseeker to try and cover him, but they've already lost Lina. They're going to lose the Bloodseeker as well. And now they might actually end up losing more. On the side, Vampire is going to be chased down, found out. So sure, you get that kill at GH, but for that big investment, it's going to cost you 10 times more. As not only will they get your lives, they'll get your tower.
Yeah, I think the idea behind the rotation is good.
Radiant's middle tower.
The idea of this Void coming mid with Chrome, I think it's a good idea. It's just going on this X, I think, might have been the worst. Maybe would have. No, I actually
Radiant's
think
middle tower has fallen.
It's a level 5 hits, right? That's the thing.
exactly, you're committing Chrono and so many spells to this. Even the Bloodseeker was thrown out. I think if they just held on to some of the spells, they could have maybe taken the fight after. But when they commit the Chrono to this one kill, you know, get it with the Lina stun or a rupture, whatever. Just I think then it's all of a sudden fine because you have the Chrono as a backup tool. Fight Bloodseeker right now. You're incredibly strong. Bloodseeker. A lot of damage you can hit it onto even 2 people. Have the spell follow up. The idea is good, but going on the Phoenix is not something you can afford to do with this.
Doing that Phoenix. Set up around top as they are pushing in here. It'd be curious to see if they're going to try and defend this as Nigma, because you haven't got the Exo, but your opponents now have Chrono, and you are about to get 6 on GH.
Radiant are scanning.
Let's see if in. Lover of Melee's. Nice move across from GH to dodge out the damage. Hook shot in from Vampire's going to be good though. And let's say we'll zone away Miracle. Miracle looking to re-engage though. Colt's a bit pushed down. Quadbot going to be turned around onto. He can't even get the kill with GH in time. He's just going to feed one over. The egg is going to be used to dodge out the Bloodseeker. Miracle able to do the same. Doesn't even need to move and worry about that
Radiant's
rupture. And they have
bottom tower is
repelled
under
the forces of Gambit. And the hunt. Nice silence. We'll stop Lina from stunning him. Needs to get out there. Look, here it is going to get low. He gets killed by the Dragon Slave. Now that was very confident coming out from Wee. But luckily, Miracle's doing the turnaround. Lorenof's going to be picked off. Oracle didn't have a chance to save with the false promise. Beautiful use of the smoke screen coming out from Miracle. Will force Iron to use his ultimate on himself. But now the Soul Mine will stop the Clockwerk from re-engaging. Instead, it's going to be Miracle going in. He's trying to hunt this kill down. Bloodseeker's going to be there. Miracle is the dodge out, is able to escape. Inkswell means they do not want to pursue him either. ksani is now going to arrive. Has got the Chrono again. Jump in. There it is. Chrono out to Miracle. Low enough that he should be able to easily clean up this kill. In fact, eine is sure to yoink it away from his own carry. And no hunting looking for Kuro, but the TPs are coming in. Nigma say, whoa, 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 wait. This is very early game. We're ready to fight again. You want to go? I mean,
You want to bring numbers.
they go. XSwamp, the mass stuns that are going to be here. Void in a bit of trouble. Burns through, getting him low. It's going to get low enough, though. He should be able to move away the time. What Rupture's going to come out. We has used the Exo, but is stuck standing here now. Unable to move. They'll at least get the Clockwerk kill. But not the big one they were looking for. They need more value out of this Exo. Bloodseeker's going to get him low. He's gone for the second time. Gambit.
It's not the
We is just the gift that keeps on giving right now.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of value. Lina stun got a lot of value out of this Clockwerk. Even though Clockwerk did die, he's providing a lot in the and now like Lorenof kind of bouncing back a little bit in the game. He had a not the best start to the like you said, we sort of gifting away a couple kills, committing a bit too much.
Most definitely. You know, the first two chronos we've seen like that. That second one was better. It got a high target, high priority kill, right? But if you use that chrono and then Nigma don't rush to make a play in response, you feel like, maybe they're not getting as much out of these early ultimates as they need to on Gambit. But the way Nigma are trying to force the meta, which we know they love to just kind of relentlessly run their opponents when they think they're ready, it's starting to backfire a little.
Yeah, definitely. They did have a good. Yeah, I mean, Lina's game is kind of stabilized. He even found the top spot in terms of the Void. He's gonna queue up the Manta style. We'll see if he can.
Radiant's
There's
bottom
now a blink
tower
on
is under
Slardar though.
attack. Dire's structures are
I would say the
fortified.
difficult portion of this is gonna start now, and also once
Indefinitely.
the Blade gets completed by Miracle.
Dire's top tower
But
is under attack.
the Burner Gold.
Jump in. Found him. XSwam's gonna stun him up. Silence on the ksani. No way to escape that gank.
You let your
So
guard
that difficult period you're talking about, is it gonna last only a small amount of time, or is it starting to feel like it might end up being
Radiant's
indefinite?
bottom
Because
tower is
Jesus, his vampire half his health instantly gone.
Your stain spreads no more.
Yeah, I mean, I think this.
For the most of that yours, and then it's kind of a case of Gambit's only real target without a chrono is going to be Kuro. If you can find him.
Invisibility.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the nice thing for Nigma, I would say. That it's so much easier for Kuro to play behind his court.
Radiant's bottom tower
Gambit
is under
Gambit's
attack.
catches is not really as good. Have the Slardar with the blink, got this invisible. So much easier to hunt for
Radiant
support.
are scanning.
Lorenof. Mind Control has an invis rune. They know where Kuro is. The Mind Control, he knows he can't do this anymore. The moment he sees Eine is there, he knows that there would be that Dispel save that would screw over the combo. Gambit, they're actually able to just breach box. The question is whether they can do anything, because this top area feels a little bit awkward to play around. I guess you're at least securing the farm zone.
Dire's
Ksani.
middle tower is
But
under
what are you
attack.
losing elsewhere in the meantime?
Yeah, I mean, you get yourself 2 bounties. I think right now you can't really ask for too much. Ksani's gonna go back into the Manta style. It's gonna be tough for him, I think. Items.
Well, there's awkward moments where he just watched his teammates kill someone. He's like, oh, that's right, now I can return to my item. But just because they can find those picks, it doesn't mean you're safe when you're in the fight still.
No, and then Nigma is just gonna smoke up here.
No, it's nighttime. I think they would just shy the vision. They'll jump on different targets there. Straight forward on the Lorenof, trying to get Reviews. Is going to come out. XSwam's going to miss. Hookshot trying to save False Promise out. Rupture on the Miracle does jump away, loses half his HP pool. The chrono goes down. They're trying to heal him up the Sunray. The damage to ksani might be enough for the Laguna. Yes, it is. And the bash is coming out. GH can even get the egg off. He's going to dive back, hit the egg button, and ensure that Gambit cannot keep pursuing. We thinking about going in, has got the instant to play with. Yule's going to be there, actually missed time with the stun from the egg, but Melee pulled down to half HP, Silence down to 4 heroes. ksani still hunting forward on the Kuro, trying to bring him down. No soul back for 10 seconds, but it's going to be too late. He's dead. GH also to fall. And they hunt and find more. It's the real question. Lorenof going to be turned around upon here. Has to use the yours still the LSA. The jumping from Mind Control cleans him up. Now Melee's more or less being ignored. Looks like Wee's going to be forced to fight here. ksani staying on top of him. Mind Control here to reinforce. Will force ksani away. And the back line looks like Ein has made his escape. So after all that Gambit, actually getting the better side of that fight, considering both sides use big ultimates and they get more gold. I say that, maybe I spoke too soon. They're back in. What are you doing here, ksani? Just about gets aware of that. The hookshot reinitiation. Science is going to immediately come out on to the Clockwerk, stuck inside the smoke screen. He will pay a price for that. Oh, I think I love this game. Just so much action.
Yeah, with the way that fight starts, I think them going on the Lina and him being saved by Promise so to the tower. He's already committed, so he's already used his spells. He can't get out of the structure without taking too much damage. The Kuroky comes in, they get
Oh, jump in, Soulbind. Forward on to Lorenof. Gonna burst down. You also buy a little bit of time, but that smoke screen still down. He'll die. He's gone. Rupture was thrown out, which should allow them to retreat, but I mean, Nigma, they're not retreating. They're going back to the pit. Finish what they started.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That fight now, the second fight here, you don't have the ball from ready yet. Lina, he gets caught like this. All of a sudden, if you have the ball promise there, I think it could be a similar story. Sure, you don't have your chrono, but still quite good for you. Now it's just gonna dead Lina and dead Rogue.
Vampire's not able to get it. It was a nice attempt. Will cost him his life, but yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it's worth the risk. If he'd got his hands on the Aegis or even the kill on the Roshan, Gambit would have been very happy.
Are scanning.
Yeah, I think that was like a very well timed hook. Getting that
Dire are
Aegis.
scanning.
Luck. Enigma with a very trying to find the void, but
Yeah, he feels safe there. I like that you brought up that case around the false promise, right? Like, we already highlight Gambit, they drafted these lanes, they kind of maybe want to play the game a little bit faster, but now that they're relying more and more on Oracle, this hurts him that he's so underleveled, right? Like, being a level 9 Oracle with the level 1 cooldown of false promise means you won't be able to save fight after fight.
yeah, he also needs to try to get to the so you can get the cast range, play a bit further out into the ideally, you would want to have a Glimmer Cape, try to force up. I think the real issue is going to come, I mean, get this Nullifier and drive anymore.
I feel a little bit insensitive saying that he's underleveled, by the way, and then I look across at Vampire. Poor guy. We know who's been getting to eat the terms in this one.
Yeah, and this is also that's the thing, right, about the pick is a final pick. I feel like no real impact in the lane. Even now, feeling quite underwhelmed. I'm curious kind of what their idea behind it is. To me, it just looks a bit... It looks a little bit out of place, even in it's sort of odd when you look at the lanes.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Bloodseeker's done. No way he's going to get away from this.
Dire's
Nicely done by
top
We to
tower is
catch
under
him
attack.
mid-TP with that yours. They're hunting for more as well. They found Ein. He's just been again with that false promise. I mean, you have to question if he would have been better off just dying. He might still die. The miracle jump is going to be there, long range with the final stab. He finishes off what he starts. And then, what? Vampire. Oh my. Gambit. I mean, they are just bleeding kills left, right, and center. But that Oracle death, especially Pike, I mean, do you just accept death in that situation? Because now when you're up, there's no false promise again for 70 more seconds.
Yeah, I think maybe you just accept your death. It's so hard for you to take fights without it. The thing is, Lina now is forced to just go into this 4-staff. I think I would much rather. I feel like you need to scale. If you want to go 4-staff,
Radiant's
you
top
want to
tower
go.
is under attack.
Potentially you could go into the Pike and try to scale that way with... Eventually you're gonna play into this Nullifier, which is hard to
I mean, it means you're putting all your eggs in this Faceless Void basket, and it's going to be a tough one for ksani to carry with. You know, you've got crack on a gold, sure, but you have to get there first. Clockwerk is not getting any more gold, he's given more over. Mind control, with the easy
Radiant's
pick-off.
middle tower
So I
is
just thought
under
look for
attack.
more. Or jump further. Now, they've got the catapult. They've got level 2 Exo, but I don't think they need it to try and pressure onto this tower.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Instead,
attack.
Riki pressure on the heroes. Jump in. Melee's down to half HP. Miracle's going to keep backstabbing into. Mind Control chasing in. Miracle needs to get out now, though. Yule's is going to be there. He's got the Aegis still. So not the biggest deal, as long as they don't stun him when he comes back
Radiant's
up.
bottom tower is under
They
attack.
time the blood right correctly. Stun control, mind control, ensure Faceless Void. He can't do anything. He can't get the chrono out. Yes, just has to retreat. Which means they cannot punish Nigma for that. The Exo was used on the side. They will at least find GH. They do get something for their troubles. But Void unable to hit that chrono.
I think that was very well played by Nigma. I mean, Miracle obviously going just there, just kind of uncomfortable for it. Put them in sort of an unfavorable position. I think they salvaged it quite well. They're just kind of jumping the Void, forcing him to use Method and stunning him so he can't chrono. But also I would say Ksani, I think he had a better position there to take and then try to get the top any hero pretty much just to can't.
Yeah, like your team's pretty deep, and Miracle, he saw how quickly he can die in the base, so it's unlikely he stays in there. So if you kind of cut the back line, then Miracle has no reinforcements. I
Dire's
guess is
middle
where you're
tower
coming
is
from.
under attack.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at this Blink Dagger. He's got the kind of mobility to jump on people. The problem is with no Exo, you can finally see Gambit. Even though they didn't capitalize, even though they didn't find a
Dire's
chrono target,
structures
they're
are
able to finally
fortified.
get out on the map and start to look for some sort of objective. Question is whether you can keep it alive. I mean, you don't really want to fall back to your safe area and just give Nigma 2/3 of the map again, but you might have to. They're smoking themselves.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You got your chrono available. You can take fights here.
You just, I mean, if you're Gambit, you just hold this high ground, right? Like, you let Nigma run into you.
Potentially play around this high ground. The thing is, you want to be farming still.
But
I
ksani?
feel like they are falling a bit too far behind.
Mind control almost had him there.
Good turn here though.
Yep. He's stuck. He got blocked in by the Manta illusions. Mind control has nowhere to run. He needs some assistance. I don't know if he's going to get the hook shot comes out of GH. The chrono goes down on the illusion. No! ksani! What? Clockwerk's going to die. They might lose more. They didn't kill Mind control. They never finished him off. He's going to come back in. Melee has to run away. Yule's is going to be there to disrupt his escape. He's going to be covered. False Promise going to be forced out. Miracle going even deeper. They're going to leash two together. Lorenof needs to move in sync with his Oracle. The Fuse going to come out to Miracle. Looking for a target here. Going to get help with the blood right. Able to move away from the moment. The Manta is not good enough. He's going to fall. Mind control. They're really chasing in on the Lina. Can they do enough damage to the Exo? Is the real question here. They're getting Oracle on. Eine is gone. ksani able to sidestep and move away in the meantime. Nigma probably should have lost a lot more than what they did for what happened there, but ksani with the chrono into what I believe was an illusion, and only an illusion, was the actual blessing for Nigma there, their own savior coming from the opponent's side.
Yeah, exactly. My control just needs to go way too deep. I think this was a very similar situation how the last fight right outside their base, and I would say Nigma. And Void had, I think, some really good chances to set up a chrono that he would sort of salvage, or not just salvage, but make the fight very good for them.
They at least
Coming up a bit short there.
Yeah, they at least get this little side kill on Kuroky. They get something. The hook shot was able to stop his TP out, but I mean, the question on my mind, because I'm sure some people have this thought, like, is this Nigma being like, okay, you know, we know we are a tier 1, not a cocky way, we know we're a tier 1 team, we know Gambit is less seasoned. They're just kind of maybe playing over aggressive and seeing if it works, not really caring about the other outcome, or is this kind of them
Dire's
at this
top
point having this
tower is
lead
under
feeling that they
attack.
need to push this, they have to starve Gambit out, and it's worth the risks of these sometimes failing moves?
I think it's like the idea of trying to be very aggressive and high tempo Dota, but I think sometimes they take it a little bit too far. Guy, he can get a little bit caught up in the moment sometimes. Take things far. I would think that Miracle is also one of those guys who can just, maybe in certain scenarios, he can get a little bit ahead of himself. Far, and you know, evidently mind control well, potentially because, you know, like that they are, you know, large, at least Gambit squad.
Yeah, it must be infectious because usually mind control, like that's the one we're talking about. That he's that anchor, right? He's that recovery point and that, well, that control for Nigma that keeps them in check. But even he seems to have just got a little bit of a mad cow disease.
Say that he
Might actually be tempted to say such a thing.
but you wouldn't though.
It's low-bearing fruits. You ever have like funny nicknames for things? Like I've noticed you like calling Pango's old roly-poly.
Yeah, I think that was that might have been.
There it goes.
I feel like it's probably CC that I got it from.
I could imagine it.
The roly-poly. I don't know. There are just some of these names that are they're kind of too good to pass up on.
Yeah.
And then it like once it sticks, sometimes it's also like it's like nah, only him.
He's got the ag. Mind control can do what he wants now. You don't want to touch him. Miracle is coming as well. Melis has hung around too long. The fuel's going to go out. XSwamp1re's going to be there. And it's going to trap in the chrono. There's going to be there. Force promise to Bloodseeker alive. They're going to shut down Miracle. He's not low. They're trying to save the W, but it's not good enough. They lost the Riki. The mind control. He can turn around on the face point. Now the bash control's going to come out. Is it good enough? He gets out just in time. ksani able to escape. The egg on the high ground. Should deter Gambit. They don't have vision, so Lorenof has to run and hide. Vampire is far away from his team, however. There is nowhere for this Clockwerk to hide. Oh my, and again, despite how it looks, despite how the start of that fight looks, Nigma once again building a big goal lead off the back of that fight, now up to 9,000 net worth lead.
Yeah, once again, Miracle just a little bit too pure on the let's go in button. Yeah, he goes down a bit too quickly there. He doesn't have a save, right? There's no Oracle in his...
Radiant are scanning.
Like,
Mind
where
control.
an Oracle?
Okay, this man isn't a fish, he's a shark. The bash is coming out, I'll control him, but he's going to go straight for the kill on the hind. Oracle is being pulled low, the bash is working out front, but the stun control turned around and the Void will force him away. Vampire has got the hook shot. They could look to re-engage Kuro. Hook shot's a whiff though. They miss it. He gets up onto the high ground, able to move away. Spider Leg saved the day. Now the reinitiation on the melee. His control looks good. He doesn't want to be in melee form here though.
Dire's bottom tower
We'll be able to
is
get
under
away.
attack.
Cogs will zone Nigma. They're just relentless. They're like, no, fight. More blood. Okay, like I've got a dentist appointment to get to. This needs to be over fast. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing in Miracle's cuts. Guys, honestly, back
Dire's
him up.
courier has
Whenever he
been
decides to take things a little bit too
Dire's
far, he's
bottom
got
tower is under
when he's got
attack.
me to rely on. He's covered very nicely from a little bit wonky deaths maybe earlier on. He's now got the completed Shiva. He's got the blink. He's ready to also just jump. By
Dire's
gonna
structure.
get really
Sean has fallen to the dire.
mind control. Gonna be incredibly difficult. Yeah, you can chrono him, but you might not even have enough damage to kill him.
No, that's the concern, right? Like he hasn't died once in this game. You get one chance with top, and I don't think you. I'm not sure if you can get another chance. Vampire, look at the hook shot out. The Miracle sees all. Would have been a Miracle if he could have got out. It'll be a miracle if Lorenof can get out because mind control is hunted. He's got the crutch and he'll get it there in time. Lorenof is screwed. Nice blink size there. Mind control just outplaying him. Gets Miracle the double kill. But I mean, they're having to make sessions everywhere. Anywhere they go, they have to bow and let Nigma have it. And the problem is, can you really do that if Nigma now turn their attention towards your base?
Oh, it's gonna be very difficult now. We have the completed Skadi on the Void, so bumping his HP up just a little bit, some more damage. The Skadi gonna help a bit to get Siphon.
Yeah, the Sunray as well. It's because that's the other thing, right? Like some of these chronos are awkward because if Phoenix is there on the side, just burn healing, you might miss out on the kills.
Yeah, but if you look at the net worth on Gambit though, they're 13 behind, but on top of that,
Radiant's middle tower
the
is
Lina's net
fallen.
worth is, I want to say like 7,000, 8,000 of this net worth is invested into Jules, the core staff, who's to travel, bottle, you know, they're not all defensive, but they actually don't provide any sort of fighting.
The way they're
Look at
being
them.
used in this game is defensive. It is what you're getting at, right?
Yeah, exactly. The Bloodseeker ATOS, it doesn't actually add either any fighting capability. Their team fight is already a little bit lacking, so the Clockwerk doesn't provide a lot in team fights. They basically don't have any team fight almost whatsoever except for this Blood Right Chrono and spells combo.
They're gonna,
Why they're in a very tough position.
they're gonna look to use that Chrono. Miracle has got an Aegis though, so you have to be very fast at the first life. And he might dodge this. It's a long TP. They're not looking in the right place though. It looks like Miracle
Radiant's
not
top
bite the
tower
bullet
is
here.
under
And while
attack.
that's happening, look at the top lane. We says, where the hell
Radiant's
are they?
structures are
Who just
fortified.
XO up straight away? He's like, get the hell back in your base, Gambit. Jeez, when I said when it come for your base, where you gonna run, I didn't mean it literally. So, glad to see they got back in time before that tier 3 would fall, because this is a level 3 XO. We might still tempt to go in though, because he wants some value out of it. Good luck getting through mind control.
Look there.
Nigma are not really in a hurry to force things here. Go back with the end of the XO.
Wait, initiation by Miracle on the side, nullifier out to Clockwerk. Not enough damage to kill him off though. Goes to push him away, used to control him up. LSA, ooh, timed beautifully. He tried for the Manta dodge, they're gonna bring down the first life. They have got a Chrono for the second, but the Valkyrie Mana means he can't escape. The Chrono has to go down now. False promise to save him, egg on the side though. Used to control him up, maybe they get through into a Miracle. He's alive, he gets out as a Miracle himself. As they turn around, they bring Lorenof down. ksani is forced to retreat, leaving Clockwerk behind. They're in the base, and now that they have actually found a footing, you can guarantee Nigma are very unlikely to leave.
I feel like in this scenario, this is where I think the hero is proven for my what is Void here?
LS is going to be okay. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it at length throughout the BKB. There's just so many things you have to dodge out and deal with. And then when you think about the support and cast on top, you start to kind of lean into the talk of it, right? There's this whole idea that you've got like these Atos, this Lois, all these defensive items. Usually if you want a POS one that's going to carry you, the thing we see a lot of teams do right now is that complementary build, right? Where it's things like Solar Crest, Lads, anything that unlocks the full potential of the hero. But it's all on ksani, yet there's nothing to support him, if that makes sense, at least in terms of buffing him up directly.
No, I don't know. I feel like there's quite a few kind of odd things here. The Clockwerk keep one of them, the Bloodseeker, the Atos, is not really helping them all that much in these fights.
But look, he stopped Lee from running away for 2 seconds. I don't think Lee wants to run away.
Michael also just he's hit with the status resistance at this point. He's got the Titan Slayer, he's got the SNY, he's got the, you know, the Ag.
I mean,
it's like stunning my friend. Done.
I just want to paint a clown face on him right now. You can just imagine him saying, hit me. He wants you to him, because you do absolutely no damage. I just feel bad for Vampire in that situation. Imagine being the final pick of the game. Imagine having all these high hopes, and then imagine having 3 kills, 15 deaths, and 5 assists to your name at this point in the game. He makes up half of Nigma's kills.
Has fallen.
At least he's part of half of something.
I mean, he's part of 2/3 of his team, you're right.
Got a high kill participation, you know. You can interpret that the way you want to.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I felt bad after highlighting the 15 deaths. Remember the start of this, when we were talking about how Vampire, well known, you know, this guy really delivers from the possible role. Never got a chance in this game.
I think he's had a lot of good performances.
A soldier's
The recent
fortune.
where I've seen Gambit, maybe, you know, like now they're up against some tougher teams.
Do you think it was like comfort pick in their mind, maybe? They were like, oh, this is what we're comfortable playing.
It could be, definitely. But I feel like that can be a dubious thing to do. Consider, you know, how good a player is with this.
Oh, they're gonna try for this. I mean, what am I talking about? Mind Control will try for anything he sees. Like, how do you kill him? Try. I dare you. There is literally no way. No possible way that splashing McGov is gonna fall. Soulbind comes up, hook shot in, Chrono's gonna be there. Mind Control, can they get through it? Maybe they're bringing low enough. Shotgun to get down the Laguna, they get him! Dead for 75. They'll find the kill line. The buybacks will come out both sides as they're trying to get involved quickly. quickly here. We stand his ground. Will force ksani away, but Lina's going to fall. Lorenof dead on the back line. Edge out, trying to get through in time. They will be able to scramble her. But can you turn around now? The stun control is going to come in. Mind controls re-arrive into the fight, looking for vengeance on a ksani. They'll find it. They bring him down. Miller's going to be forced away. The Chi-Chi is going to come out. That was Gambit's last Gambit, and they knew it.
They got through Splashy Mc... what? Splashy McDurf?
Slashy was done.
Yeah, they managed to finally get through him, you know, all that raw HP. Then you had a lot of DP try to get through, and Riki just dealing too much damage with Amp. GH, even though the egg does die, it bought them a lot of time in that. In the end, it's just like